What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in this one, I got a really cool one for you today. The other week, I got to sit down with Fund and Grow's COO, Mike Banks. And what these guys do is they actually leverage business credit to be able to get you interest-free funding for your Amazon business. I currently use them, have used them in the past, and they just do a really, really great job. And because I love you guys, a little behind the scenes comment here for you. He was like, after the interview, he was like, man, you know, I expected to talk for like 20 minutes, 25 tops, and you know, we ended up talking for like 45 minutes. We had a great old time, spilled a lot of amazing information for you guys. I know you're gonna enjoy it. So make sure you check his channel out below, and of course, enjoy the interview.
What's up? Thank you for coming back to the channel. Today we have a really good interview lined up for all of you guys out there in the Amazon space. We have a client of ours. He went through the Fund and Grow process. He's still in the program, but he's using the funding to grow his Amazon business. And so I asked him to come on and share how he's using it in his business, to give you guys some ideas and some strategies on ways that you can grow your business a lot more quickly when you have access to funding. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on real quick. Rhett, how you doing today, man?
What's going on, Mike? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sticking with us through those technical issues that we were having, but we got it figured out. You're looking nice and clear. So yeah, I really appreciate you taking time to join us, but I know this could really impact and help a lot of people out there, because there's tons of people that are starting Amazon businesses. And you know, I know the common problem is that they need the funding so that they can buy more inventory, and that's kind of like where the where the hang up is with a lot of Amazon stores. They need more inventory, right? So I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'll let you explain it, because you know the space a lot better than me. But I'm definitely thinking about getting into the Amazon space and setting up some type of store where it's kind of like running on its own. But I'll have to talk to you more about that after this. But yeah, I wanted to just have you share your background, tell everybody how you got into the Amazon space, and then we'll just get more into it, and I'll ask you a few questions and see how how it's really working for you in your business.
Sounds great. Yeah, so my name's Rhett Taylor. I've been in the Amazon world for since like 2017, and it was one of those things that I just kind of fell into. I was desperate to not live that 9-to-5 grind. I was desperate to kind of make my own way. I've always kind of had that entrepreneurial kind of spirit about me, and I basically kind of knew there was more to life than just I guess making someone else rich. So I tried all kinds of different things. I tried drop shipping. I tried selling crap on eBay, doing stuff on Instagram, and nothing really stuck for me very well. And then I kind of rolled across Amazon, and it was something that really made sense to me, and I was good at, and it was something that really took off for me, simply because, I mean, shoot, when's the last time you bought something on Amazon? I mean, for me, it was today. So most people are always buying stuff on Amazon, and it was something that really has changed my life, and I was able to be fortunate enough to have a little bit of scratch, a little bid of money for myself, but to really get it going and to really kind of get it moving and really, like in a well-oiled machine. Fund and Grow and Mike and these guys helped me out to be able to kind of, supercharge things, because the thing I run across the most is that, the biggest barrier to entry for Amazon is, money, is capital, is being able to have enough money to invest in products. And most people think they can get started on Amazon for like $1,000 or even $2,000. And the fact is, you can't effectively. Sure, there's going to be some people that can tell you, yeah, you can do it, but I won't get too far into the weeds. But you have to have some kind of capital. But it's not like you need $30,000. I mean, you can start an Amazon business with $4,000 or $5,000. And the fact is, some people have it and some people don't. And it's kind of the aspect of getting started, but it also comes into the aspect of keeping inventory up, because the biggest problem with Amazon, or biggest problem people run into, is running out of stock, and doing the inventory planning and forecasting part of Amazon. What is kind of crazy is sometimes you have to order more units at the beginning before you even like start selling. Because, you know, you say, okay, based on my competition, I'm going to be able to sell 400 units a month estimated right off the bat. So if we need to do that, we need to order at this date. And the fact is, someone's going to spend, you know, $6,000 on their products, and that might be all they have. And then in order to stay in stock and not run out and not get hurt in your ranking, you have to order more. And the ability to have Mike and their team come in and be able to kind of like be a relief for you to be able to get that funding and be able to keep going and not get hurt. Because when you run out of stock, you basically have to spend more money to get back where you were before you ran out of stock.
Right.
And I just keep talking here, but Mike, you can jump in here anytime you want.
You're dropping a lot of good content, good value right now. I didn't know personally exactly how much it would cost if I wanted to start a store. Now, I know one thing I was thinking is, if I was like to go open a storefront, and let's say I was opening like a fishing store and I was going to sell a bunch of fishing supplies and rods, reels, tackle, I would have to pretty much stock the shelves in the store, right? If I wanted to sell whatever it is I wanted to sell. So in the Amazon space, it's always different. People are looking at it like, let me just pretty much buy what I need and not have to like fully stock shelves. But the idea is, you know, it's a long-term build, right? So if you're in the Amazon game and you're trying to build an actual store that's gonna stay up for a while, you're gonna need that inventory, and you're gonna end up selling it anyway, right? It's like, you know, if you have the funding on hand, that's the thing. Not everybody's out here opening up a fishing store or any type of store in their neighborhood, because, you know, it takes some upfront capital to do that. But on Amazon, you can do it for little money. You can get started, but once you start getting things going, you got to be able to stock those shelves, so to speak. Even though you don't have an actual store, you still need to be able to have the inventory so that you can easily sell it when the orders come in. I mean, drop shipping is basically where you don't even buy the product until you get the order, right? Okay, so
yes, this is you have to, you know, do your research and your product research up front, invest in products, buy them in full, and ship them, you know, across the world and put them in an Amazon warehouse, where when they buy, Amazon does it all for you. That's the beauty of it, is that the day and age we live in, you don't have to spend $150,000, $200,000 to go get a lease and go, you know, hire employees with health benefits and do all of that stuff. You can literally start a future 6, 7, 8-figure business online from your house, but with $4,000, and it's really incredible. And the fact is, you know, one single product can change your life. It sounds kind of, you know, hokey, and you're like, that's not true. You know, there's no way. And that there's always this story I like to tell. Is it cracks me up because
let's hear it.
You don't have to sell a sexy product. Like that, there's over 200 million people on Amazon every single month. And there's this story that basically from my life, and it was a friend of my mom's, and she was down there with him and in Mexico, and this guy was a very wealthy guy, and you know, he owns like a big fancy house on the beach. And basically one of the waiters came up and was like, Mr. Tom, basically asking like, hey man, like, how'd you make your money? And he didn't respond with, you know, I started this awesome tech company, you know, I found a GoPro. Like, that's cool, that's sexy. But, you know, he just pauses and, you know, kind of waits, and then just goes, you know, I mow lawns. And it just makes me laugh because, you know, he owns a successful lawn care company, but he's making millions of dollars doing something super common and not sexy. And the point is, any products you sell, I talked to one guy today, he's selling urinal cakes on Amazon and making money. Like, it doesn't have to be sexy, and it can be one single product that really just changes everything.
Because it's more about like how they rank as a product, what the demand is, and there's a whole process you go through in order to choose what your product is, right? Because I've seen a little bit on how they like figure out what products they're going to get. They do some type of keyword research, or they do like some ranking. You know, they like basically search the product to see which ones are are in demand, right? And that's kind of how you find out what product you want to sell.
Yeah, it's all about, I mean, reviews are the highest barrier to entry for finding a product. You obviously need to look at the niche. A lot of mistakes people make is they find one product and they're like, yeah, baby, like that's the one. It's making $25,000 a month, only has 67 reviews. I'm pumped. I'm gonna make it, mom. And they forget to look at the niche, and then they realize, oh, okay, 15 of the 30 people on that page have 2,000 reviews. And the fact is, like, no matter how great your product is, how, cute or sexy or whatever it is, they're going to pick the 2,000 review product over you every single day of the week. So it's a mix of, we have criteria that we teach our students of how you should, what kind of products fit into this certain criteria. And it comes down to how much revenue they're doing, how much revenue the entire page is doing, how many reviews they have, and how much demand and keyword demand depth there is. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but when it comes to actual what you would do with the money and why you would need the money, is it kind of comes to like three things. First is obviously you may or may not have the money up front, because that's the biggest thing. And the coolest thing is, when I first started, I was a lot younger, and I had a good credit score, but I didn't have much credit. It was just simple. I had like one credit card, and I was living with my parents, and doing the young guy thing, and I didn't have a lot of credit depth and a lot to go off of. And you guys were still able to hook me up with like 15 grand right in the first round of funding. And that's one of those things that you can, like I said, either take that money and be able to put that towards products right off the bat, or to be able to invest more in products if you don't, to make sure you don't run out. Because like I said, when you run out of stock, your rank freezes for 14 days. Oh, and then after those 14 days, it freezes, but it's technically going down because everyone else is still selling, if that makes sense.
So they know what you have on inventory, and if you don't have anything, they'll basically deplatform you for a little while until you get more inventory or whatever, make it hard for people to order from you.
Well, they can't if you're out of inventory. If you're doing fulfillment by Amazon, which Amazon handles everything for you, you don't even show up anymore if you're out of stock. You're out of stock, and they can't buy from you. So then your rank starts to drop. And basically, to avoid that, you have to always stay in stock, because at the end of the day, Lord Bezos and Amazon is always concerned about the customer, which makes sense. Yeah. And they need your products to be ready and available for them, and they punish you if you're not. If you don't plan well, and if you don't have the money working well, so you can always stay in stock, then they bring down the hammer on the ranking. And at the end of the day, that costs you more money to get back going, because you're here selling 40 units a day, and then you run out of stock, and then you come back here selling 20 units a day, and you basically have to spend money to get back up to 40 units a day, maybe a couple months later. Right. And so it's crucial to stay in stock, and the ability to have basically interest-free money to be able to save you money by running out of stock and not having to relaunch and run extra advertising to get back where you were before.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And not only can you cover your inventory with the funding that you get, you can use the credit, and it's all business credit, comes with 0 interest for an average of 12 months. That's what we're talking about, just in case anybody's on the video and they're like, what are these guys exactly talking about? We're talking about using business credit that doesn't show up on your personal report, where you get 0 interest for an average of 12 months. We're talking about using that funding source to basically grow and keep your Amazon business afloat, so that you don't have to go through what Rhett's talking about, where you basically get deranked if your inventory runs out. Now you're kind of screwing yourself over and making it even longer of a process to get a really solid store going that's cash flowing. And that's the idea. But you can even take it another step forward. Once you got the inventory side figured out, what about like the advertising side? Isn't there ways that a lot of these guys are doing, like retargeting ads? I know I always get hit with ads on Facebook, Instagram. I'll be looking for like some wall art or something, whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm on Amazon, and then boom, I'm starting to get ads on Facebook where they're retargeting me. And that's exactly what I would be doing. That's what we do here at Fund and Grow. I would be spending with the credit to get the inventory, but I'd also be using the credit to market the product. So I'm not only going off of what comes in from Amazon through searching, but I'm like putting it out there in the marketplace, and I'm retargeting people, or I'm targeting people that have searched for the similar types of products that I'm selling. I would be doing that all day to really snowball the growth of the store. So I could see why and how it's so important. I've never done the Amazon. I've done real estate, but I haven't started an Amazon store. I thought about buying one that's already cash flowing. So if you know of any, let me know. But I know from
I know a guy that does it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. All right, we'll have to.
I know a guy that is able to do that right now. Nice. But no, that's what Amazon is. It's basically a snowball, and once you can get that, it's just like any business. You got to push that. You got to push that baby, and it's hard to push. And once you get it pushing, it's rolling. And there's the advertising aspect of it, and like you mentioned, and the ability to a lot of people. You get your money, you sell your products. Bezos takes his cut, and you sell it for $20, and say you make, I don't know, $8.50 out of it or whatever. Just random numbers. That gets put into your little, Amazon bank account. And obviously you're running advertising on Amazon, and Amazon's in-house advertising is called PPC, which is just pay per click. And what most people do is they just let Amazon take their PPC advertising costs straight out of their Amazon bank account, basically. But a mistake that people do is they do that. And instead of basically saying, hey, Amazon, put all of my PPC charges on my credit card. And that, of course, allows you to, if you're running PPC correctly, like we teach, then you are able to obviously be profitable with that. So you're charging your card up, and you're getting all kinds of, bonuses and rewards, just like you guys talk about with all the credit cards and the business funding that you work with. And so basically it's just free money, and it's free flights. I mean, the years I've been selling, I can fly just anywhere. I can fly my family anywhere. I can fly myself anywhere. I don't have to pay for a flight really ever, unless I just really want to pay for a flight. But I've just racked up so many miles. I prefer to travel and, have miles rather than, cash back on Amazon or whatever, but you can choose. But the ability to, have Amazon just charge your card up for the interest-free funding to be able to, treat your family or go wherever you want. And that's not even touching into, Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads or Instagram ads. I kind of suggest, people just starting out when it comes to external traffic. 82% of all American households have a Prime membership. So hundreds of millions of people are coming onto Amazon. And when you start organically ranking, so, when you type in, I don't know, money bag or, golf ball or whatever you type into Amazon, there's going to be sponsored listings that show up, and then there's going to be organic listings. And those are the guys that are selling the best for that keyword. And when you can be that guy on like a keyword that's searched 30,000 times a month, it's just game over, because, you're just getting thousands and thousands and 30,000 people seeing your product listing every single month for free. And that's really when it starts to, snowball. And then at that point, you can start focusing on external traffic and driving Facebook ads and all those different things, all at the same time, leveraging you guys in your interest-free funding to be able to, rack up all those free miles and basically free money to, like I said, treat your family or fly to Fiji or whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So have you used the miles? You said you've already used them?
Yeah. I haven't used them all, but but no, I have. Curious. My sister goes to school in the University of Alabama, so she obviously is one of those. I'm from Texas, so being able to that's kind of a haul when it comes to driving. I've just been working all the time and grinding. So I haven't, gone to Fiji, but I've been able to, fly her back so she doesn't have to drive, or, so my dad or mom doesn't have to, shell out $300 or whatever for that. So
that's awesome. And all that comes just from using the tools that are available to you, using credit. And at the same time, you're growing your business, and it's like the byproduct is a huge benefit. You can, you're like this baller now who's flying people out wherever you want to fly them. And you got these free miles that you're racking up. It's a no-brainer. It really is. Guys, smash the like button if you guys are enjoying what we're talking about, because I know I'm learning stuff right now. This guy's clearly a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Amazon, growing a business, starting a business, all that good stuff. So I'm going to be picking his brain even more after this, and you guys can too. If you guys want to reach out, Rhett, you do coaching, right?
Yeah. We've just started amzuniversity.com, which basically is a 12-week, hand-holding. I like to say we've mastered the art of hand-holding, where we basically just walk you through the entire Amazon process, A to Z, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards, and allow you to, get you there without all the mistakes. Because, if any business you're trying to start, basically there's so many mistakes you can avoid just by having the right guidance and the right person saying, hey man, you're about to break your ankle in that hole, watch out. Oh, thank you. You don't even know what you're going to get hit with. And the fact is, we live in an amazing time of the internet, and that the fact there's so much information out there, which is a blessing, but it's also a curse, because a lot of people think, okay, man, I can do YouTube and I can learn all the things I need to on the internet. And the fact is, yeah, you could do that, but there's so many differing opinions, and there's just so much stuff out there that you get an analysis paralysis, and you never take action, and you never actually do anything, and that's the biggest killer.
You need a specific thing to follow, and you need guidance. When I got into real estate, I wouldn't have been able to figure out how to get properties 50 cents on the dollar, half the price of what they're worth, if I was just trying to Google it and YouTube it. Yeah. You don't know who to really listen to, so you need to find someone that knows what they're doing, they've got the success that you're looking for, and follow what they have to say. And at the same time, do your research, consume things, look at other videos, look at other podcasts or whatever. But I couldn't agree more. Having a mentor, just like with Fund and Grow, people can go and apply for credit on their own, but they're not going to get as far as they would as if they had us in their corner. We deal with like more than 300 clients, new clients every month. We establish like around 15 million a month, and we can get results way quicker. So if I want a result, I'm going to go the most efficient way. I'm going to hire someone to help me out. I'm going to hire, a team to go in and rehab my properties. And I would like to also hire someone to help me either acquire a cash flowing Amazon business or set one of my own up, pick out a product, go through the whole process. I've been meaning to do that. I've been wanting to do that for a while. So I'm not going to do that on my own. I'm not going to go on YouTube and get all the free content and just, it's analysis paralysis. You hit it on the head. So if you guys are interested, we're going to put a link in the description so you guys can reach out and connect with Rhett and see if maybe working with him. This video is not meant to promote him, but at the same time, he's a client of ours. He's gone through our process and he's breaking it all down right now, and I can see he knows his stuff. So if you guys are interested, which I know a ton of you guys are, feel free to jump on a call with Rhett and his team and see how they can help you out, like with your Amazon business, because there's just so much opportunity. It's insane. Like whether you're going the real estate route, the Amazon route, there's tons of ways to make a lot of money without just working a job and kind of just settling for that. Even if it's a side hustle at first and you're still working your job, I highly recommend looking into it. And if you've already started an Amazon business, maybe it's not picking up the way you want it to, I would strongly recommend getting on a call with Rhett, getting a mentor like that who can really guide you through it so that you don't have to waste so much money and time and you'll go through a lot less stress if you have that type of guidance. So Rhett, tell us a little bit more about like how you got into Amazon, and if you have any other like benefits that you found from using the credit other than what we've already talked about. I know you're a busy guy. I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, but while I have you here, if you have anything that's running around in your head right now that you want to share with everybody who's maybe thinking about getting into Amazon, or people who are thinking about using business credit? Just give them some, experiences, some challenges that you had to deal with, and then we'll wrap it up here in a couple minutes.
Yeah. So when it comes to using credit, like I said, there's kind of, specifically with Amazon, there's kind of those three aspects. There's, like I talked about, there's the initial funding of, investing in yourself and getting the initial products. There's the funding that you need to be able to keep that machine going, and there's the advertising of keeping going and really expanding your business. And the fact is, you get paid every 14 days, or I'm sorry, you get paid every 15 days on Amazon, and you're selling X amount, and you're kind of behind the ball. And with any kind of business, you go in the hole a bit to get going, and then eventually, a couple months later, you start seeing that, okay, hey, we're actually making some money now. Hey, we can actually start, recycling this money. And the ability to have, not just funding. Like I come from, before I started Amazon, I was a loan officer assistant. You betcha. I didn't even get to the full loan officer. I was just still an assistant, which I was terrible at. But that's not the point. The point is, by going to get a loan, there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of fees, there's a whole lot of stuff that go into, it's not just like, can I borrow $200,000? Here you go, have fun with it. That'd be sweet, but that's not how it is. But that's kind of like what Mike and his team do is it's as close to like, how everyone wishes funding should be. And that's really the thing that helps out the most, especially just, the wide range of people, is the ability to have that influx of cash, because these guys, they do 2 rounds of funding. They have the personal, and then they have the business. And the personal is a little smaller. And then when I say small, it's like 10 to 20 grand. And then, the business is a whole lot more. And the ability to have all of that money and that influx of cash to be able to invest in yourself, invest in a mentor, invest in products, invest in the software that's needed, invest in everything that you need to get this going, and really, add some rocket fuel to it. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you're having to go get a $250,000, business loan from Chase and go, find a property and say, okay, this one's okay, this one's got rats, but we can get rid of that, it's all good. And then, hire employees. Amazon, you can skip all of that and say, hey, we can invest this amount of money. And obviously a little, trick and a little tip for you guys out there is, like I mentioned, the biggest barrier to entry is reviews, but there's a lot bigger of an opportunity for finding successful products is in the higher ticket, more expensive products. And just across the board, we've seen that the higher ticket, more expensive products on Amazon, maybe 100 to 150 and above. I'm not saying go sell a freaking car on Amazon or whatever, but like, right, the ability to, have the funding to be able to invest in those higher ticket products, because obviously, if you're selling it for $250 or $300, it's not going to cost you $2 to make it. That's just the fact of it. If that's how it works, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but the profit margins are going to be
the profit margins are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sell as many. You don't have to technically buy as many, but it's going to be more expensive to source. Where you have a bunch of hairbrushes that cost 25 cents a piece, and you sell them for 14, or you sell I'm terrible at coming with examples right off the bat, a piano that costs you like $250 to make, but you sell it for like 10,000 or whatever. That's a terrible example, but
here's a good example. That wall art was pretty expensive.
Yeah,
that wall art was pretty expensive right there. Those are probably good products. Yep. They probably are decent sellers. I've seen, a bunch of ads for them. I was Googling it on Amazon. I was searching it, and I feel like those probably sell really well. So anything that's like over a couple $100 even is going to cost a lot more to keep your shelves stocked, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So looking at those products, maybe starting out, with products like this, and then moving up to like bigger things. The only way to do that is if you have the capital. Yeah, you can use the profit you're making, but there's always going to be this balancing act where you're getting the profit, you got to pay your overhead, you got to pay for your expenses, and you got to buy more inventory. So you got to get that snowball effect where you can kind of boost yourself so that your profits really are starting to like outweigh the expenses. And really the way to do that and the way to grow any business is really to have capital on hand so you can cover the marketing costs, so you can fill the shelves and really just have a successful cash flowing business, especially if something goes wrong. You know, somehow the product, you know, maybe your supplier with that product increases their price, or they go out of business. You know, you're dealing with a lot.
Or they do a terrible job making the product.
Say it again.
Or they do a terrible job making the product. Maybe that shipment is just terrible, and you said, "Oh, I don't need an inspection. I've, worked with them for 30 shipments." It doesn't matter. You get an inspection every single time, but stuff happens. And like you said, that's business and that's life. And being able to have that backing, and it's not like you're having to give up like 40% of your company. You're literally leveraging Mike and his team to get free money to build your business without giving away any equity. And that there's, if you told that to someone back in the day, they'd be like, "You're insane." And it's super valuable.
Shark Tank, the same thing as what you're talking about. It's funny you brought that up because do you know Tatiana James?
I've heard of her. I don't know her personally, but she's on YouTube and I've heard of her.
Yeah, she's one of our clients and affiliates, and she's made a couple videos with us and sent us a lot of clients who are growing an Amazon business. And she used that analogy. We also use that analogy, but it was good to hear her do it, because in the product space where you're selling products, or maybe you're coming up with your own, getting patents, whatever, a lot of these guys, they go on Shark Tank and they give up, like you said, 20, 30, 40, even 50% sometimes of their company, just so that they can get over that hump of, I don't have any money, I don't have enough funding, I need to grow it, I need help. I'm not saying don't ask for help. Mentors are great. Even working with the sharks are great. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of boost from that. I'm not totally against it, but it's like this. A guy at an event I was at last week, it was a big real estate mastermind. There's a guy there named Patch Baker. Do you know who Patch is? Have you heard of him? No? He's a veteran. He's helped a lot of veteran-owned companies grow their businesses. He's like a marketing genius. He's got a huge marketing company, and he owns 37 companies. And he says the way he acquires a company is basically he goes in, he says, "I don't really want to buy your company, but if you were going to sell it, how much would you want for it?" They say something like $1 million. And then he comes back and says, "Okay, well, it might be worth $1 million to you, but I could just take $1 million and start the same business and grow it, and I own 100% of that business. So what would you give me if I come into your business and help you grow it to X amount? What would that be worth to you?" So now he's basically getting ownership of the company without actually having to buy it up front. So that's just a small little crash course on acquiring a business that he gave us last week. But the cool thing is like there's guys like that. There's also like the Shark Tank show where you're going to end up giving up part of your business for the help of growing it, which is fine. Trust me, if a guy like Patch approached me and I had a brand new Amazon thing going on and he told me he could get me to 5 million or something, I'd be like, "Come on board, buddy." But at the same time, not everybody's running into people like that, right? And a lot of times all we really need is funding. And just like with Rhett and tons of other people that are doing their own thing on Amazon, if they just had $15,000, $25,000, even $50,000, it's not like you need $1 million. You just need 50 grand, give or take, and you can do a lot with that. Because that's what you're telling me on Amazon. And even with real estate, it's 50 grand doesn't go as far, I would imagine, as it would on Amazon, because you're selling products in your sleep. You just need that extra capital so that you can keep the orders, keep the inventory ahead of the game, and then you got a pretty much passive. I mean, maybe not so much passive in the beginning, but once you get things wired and you got sales coming in, you got orders coming in while you're asleep, and you can't really do that with real estate, and you do need more capital with real estate. So this is like a perfect fit for our program, because people usually get, on average, in the first round of funding, people will get around 50,000 most of the time. Sometimes when people have limited personal credit, just like I did. When I first got my first credit card,
yeah.
I had no credit cards. I got my first one about 9 years ago. And since then, I've grown my credit. I've gotten access to thousands in credit. I have an 800 credit score now. And I just can see how perfect of a fit this is for Amazon. We primarily work with a lot of real estate investors. That seems to be like where we get the most demand from, but that's also because we don't really market that much to the Amazon space. But there's so many Amazon business owners out there, entrepreneurs, startups, people that are trying to get it to the next level, that if they just knew about business credit, 0 interest, average of 12 months, rewards points, free travel, free cash back, you're spending the money anyway on inventory, you might as well be getting some cash back on it. And the other thing is, you know, like with you said we had to apply for personal for you because what we had to do is strengthen your foundation and give you, you know, the foundation that you need to get approved for business credit, because that's what they need. Yeah. Personal credit is the main qualifier. Doesn't matter if you just started your Amazon business yesterday. If you have pretty good credit, you're in the door and you can get access to business credit at 0 interest. But if you're in a limited credit situation where you've only got like one credit card, or maybe you've only got one, you know, secured card right now, whatever it is, then you need personal credit. And that's really what you need, so that you have this foundation, so the banks can look at that and say, okay, he handled his personal credit well, we'll give him some business credit. And the cool thing is business credit doesn't show up on your personal report. So once you get to the point where you're spending 50 grand a month on your inventory and your marketing, that 50 grand doesn't show up on your personal report. So your personal scores stay nice and high. So if you want to go and move and you want to go buy a house or buy a car, now you've got 800 credit scores because you're not every month fluctuating your credit, because the debt is staying on the business credit. It's not going on your personal report. So it makes a lot of sense. It's affordable. It's not like a merchant cash advance, or it's not like, you know, some payday loan or some online lender that they charge like 20-30%. It's a legitimately affordable resource. And I just wish we can, you know, get the word out to more people in the Amazon space, because pretty much everyone in the real estate space knows about Fund and Grow. But what we're trying to do is get the word out there to more people that are in the Amazon space, because it could be so helpful to them. And like Rhett even said, Rhett only got 15,000 on his first round of funding. It's not like he got 100 grand, but you can clearly see that it's helping him out. It's, you know, alleviating some of the stress of the inventory, you know, running out, and you don't want to be deranked. Like, how shitty would that be? You worked for 6 months and then something happens where, you know, you don't have the money on hand. Maybe something happens with one of your shipments. What if one of the shipments gets delayed? You know, you probably need to have, yeah, you probably need to be way in advance on this, because aren't you ordering this stuff overseas, like from China in some cases? Yeah,
there's typically a, you know, most of the time you order from China, and the fact is, you know, there's good suppliers and there's bad suppliers. As you might know, most everything's made in China, and you may have a bad thought about China, but, you know, like I said, there's some incredible products that are being made from China, and there's not. And it just comes down to how you can actually, you know, find them, which we show you how, and the, you know, the scripts to talk with them and negotiate with them, and all of those different things. And the biggest thing I see is going back to, you know, how much you need to start. When people say you know, you can start with $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, yes, you can. You can, you know, order, you know, 200 units, chuck it up on Amazon and go, man, I'm selling on Amazon. Look at me, mom. But the fact is, that's not setting you up for future success. You're not putting yourself in a good spot right off the bat, because like we talked about, you're going to run out. It's a 60 to 70 day lead time, because right now Amazon's slow with the, you know, economic situation where it takes like 2 weeks to check your products in. So, you know, it's 30 days to make it and 30 days to ship.
There's a reason we call the company Fund and Grow, because you need, as corny as that was, you need the funding so that you can get to the next level. Otherwise, you kind of just flatline. And if you're not growing, you know what they say, if you're not growing, you're dying. So you have to keep pumping in more marketing. You have to keep doing whatever it takes to grow your business. And a lot of times that is capital. That is more funding, more money to spend on hiring, marketing, inventory. All those things are so important. And once you know like the technical side of it, like you do, you know how to find the product, you know how to get the ranking right, checking the reviews, all that good stuff's important, but it's only going to really get you so far without having that extra fuel to move things forward.
Exactly, because that what I like to tell people is the end goal. You're kind of starting Amazon, and there's kind of two camps of people. There's people that come in that are just don't have a passion, don't know what they want to sell. They just like money and want to make some money. That's how I started. And the way you find products is you're just trying to pick any product, any and all products that fit the bill and can make you money. So you could be selling, cat poop bags. So you could be selling, so tomato presses.
One of my affiliates started selling poop bags, and I was about to just bring that up. That's hilarious. Do you know Brad Weinman?
I do not. No.
He's got
the
like
poop bag salesman.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's got like a wealth building system, but he's also started an Amazon store several years ago, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be selling poop bags. It's amazing. You can sell anything. People buy all kinds of stuff. I've personally bought the poop bags when I was living in this more of the city area. We were picking up our poop because I didn't have a big yard, so I was a buyer of poop bags. You could sell anything on Amazon. There's so much opportunity. It's insane.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But it's some people come in.
Sorry.
No. Hey, I'm the king of interrupting. I've done well not interrupting on this interview. But there's the two types of people. There's the people that don't have a passion. They just want to sell something and make money. And that was me. And there's people that come in and say, hey, I really am passionate about wine. I love wine, or I love animals and poop bags, or whatever it is. And you have a product or a niche that you want to build a brand around. Because, at the end of the day, the way you become the most successful is you build a brand on Amazon, and you're able to, maybe find something that works or something you're passionate about. If you love dogs, building a pet or dog, brand, and being able to expand horizontally within that and build that out. Because, you start with a dog bed, and you start with some toys, and you start with some poop bags, and you start with a house and whatever, and you just expand horizontally in that niche. And as you're launching new products, it becomes easier and easier because you already have that customer base. You already have, your foothold in the niche. You're able to expand a lot faster and compete with, higher review sellers simply because you've got an email list, you've got a backing, you've got a group of customers that are already there that like your brand. And that's when the funding can really help you grow, is because, especially at the beginning, what a lot of people don't know is they'll be like, Rhett, I made, $10,000 the last month. This is amazing, but they only paid me $2,000. And they're like, what the heck? What happened? That's just an example. But Amazon holds, especially when you're at a beginner, Amazon doesn't know you. And, it's all about risk, managing risk. And they hold on to some funds of yours in case, you explode or something happens, or, basically covering their back. Yeah. So, at the beginning, especially when it comes to, cash flow, a lot of people don't focus a lot on the cash flow and the inventory management. The cash flow is a little more limited. And when you can, especially like if you have a brand, you maybe have a couple products, or if you did what I did and just launched like 4 products right off the bat and was like, screw it. You're able to, have the funding to be able to expand faster and be able to go faster. Because at the end of the day, it's all about speed. It's all about who can implement the fastest, who can get to the market fastest, and who can, start building up that review barrier. Because, you'll look back, you'll start today, maybe you'll start next week or whenever, and in a year or so or 2 years, you'll have a giant inventory of products, of different products that you're like, oh, wow, this is consistently making me $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. And I have each product, has easily a couple hundred reviews, and I've been able to solidify your build a moat around your products and your brand, where people are starting to search your brand. And when people are searching your brand, that's when you're kind of in business, because you've really made an impact on the market, and that's really when you can have the most success. Is, like I said, building that brand. And when it comes to implementing and moving faster, for the most part, it takes money to make money. And what I like to say is it takes money to make money faster. It takes money to make more money. Sure, it takes some money to, I kind of just pulled that out of thin air.
It's
but
100% accurate. It really is.
But but it's like I said, you can have some money at the beginning, which works. But if you really want to go fast, if you really want to get going, that takes a little bit more money to effectively do that.
Right. I couldn't agree more. I feel like we need to do like another video or like a video series where we talk about Amazon. We go and we dive deeper into like what it really takes to grow and to start an Amazon business, how to pick a product, how to, understand the reviews and the rankings and all these different things that you're talking about. You clearly know what it takes to be successful on Amazon. And I'm glad that we were able to do this today. I'm glad we were able to connect and talk about the Amazon side of things, really, because I learned a lot just from doing this with you. The main idea here was for you guys to, get this free information. So if you're in the Amazon space, now you've got a little more idea of how it works, and you've heard directly from a client of ours who's in the Amazon space, who's used the credit, and obviously you can hear it's helping him. And so I figured it would be good for us to bring this to our channel. So if there's anyone that's in the Amazon space or you're thinking about getting into it, Rhett is your guy. If you'd like to speak with him, we're going to put a link in the notes so you guys can connect and talk more about his coaching program if that's something that you guys are interested in. But yeah, like I said, this was literally just to kind of clear things up for people who are on the fence, who are thinking about using credit to grow their Amazon business. So we've been going for a good minute now. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you being here, but I definitely think it would be cool for us to maybe do another one where we talk specifically about Amazon businesses and the difference between drop shipping and FBA. And there's a lot of things out there, and I think we can really clear some things up for our audience at least. And if you're open to that, we'll get. Of
course, I'd be happy to. It'd be fun.
Cool. Awesome. Well, did you have anything you wanted to say before we wrap things up? Oh, guys, don't forget, give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notifications bell, because we're going to be bringing in a lot more clients just like Rhett, who are actual business owners who are doing, having success in their business, and they're using the credit that we get for them to grow their business. And we're going to do this with Amazon. We've already done this quite a bit with a lot of real estate investors. So give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And Rhett, did you have anything you wanted to say before we finish up?
I just know I talked a lot and just keep on going. But no, I don't think I have anything else for you this time, unless we're going to make this a 5-hour phone call or 5-hour interview.
Well, that's how it is. When you're an expert in your industry or your niche or whatever, you can literally talk all day long about what you're doing. And when you can tell that someone can just keep talking about what they got going on, it usually means they have a lot of information. They understand what they're talking about. So I really appreciate you doing that. You really opened up. You gave a lot of good information to people. I'm sure a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is stuff that people have to pay for when they go into your coaching. So we just gave that to you guys for free. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe, and we're going to be rolling out some more videos. We're going to do another video, maybe a couple more with Rhett, and we're going to break down, the whole Amazon thing and how you can start a business, grow a business. So if you have anything that you want to know specifically about Amazon, if there's anything that's unclear to you, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll try to get your comment answered. I'll see if Rhett maybe is able to get on there, answer your comment. Maybe you guys can get on a call, do a strategy session, see if he can help you out with his coaching program. But I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for doing this with me. It's
you betcha.
It's great to connect with clients, and we deal with hundreds of clients a month. We've grown to about a 52. We just hired more people. We've had more people in for interviews today. We're growing. We're like just waiting to crank our ad spend up, so that because we can literally double our business. But we're doing it gradually. We don't want to we don't want to implode things. We want to make sure we can provide really good service to people. But at the same time, we also know what it takes to grow a business. We've spent a lot of money on marketing. We're going to continue doing that. But we're going to continue rolling out videos like this. And it's great to be able to connect with clients who are actually using the credit in their business and actually hear directly from them. So I really appreciate you doing this, guys. If you liked the video, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day.